I was thinking the other day about expectations for the Plenary Council, and I was struck by my own recollections of how exciting air travel was the first time I went to Europe or the United States. I was amazed that I could get from Australia to the other side of the world in less than a day. And I think that's some of the expectation a number of people have for the Plenary Council, that somehow we'll be able to, at the beginning of Sunday, put out an agenda, and by the end of Friday, have it all settled. Well, actually, it's not going to be like that. In fact, a better example is really the Camino, that pilgrimage process that so many people, and a lot of Australians in particular, have undertaken, of journeying from diverse parts of Europe to converge on the Compostela de Santiago. They do it by foot, they do it by bicycle, not really by plane. And the process takes a long time. It's a process of discernment, and it takes, if you're as unfit as I am, it takes a lot longer than somebody who's used to running marathons. But as you get closer and closer to the Church of St. James, then what happens is the pilgrims become more numerous. The distance between them becomes closer and closer. And I think that's what we hope to get out of the next week of the Plenary Council. Not major changes, but a greater sense of where we're going and a greater sense of what the questions we really need to resolve are. Some of the questions that we want resolved, we'll have to refer to Rome because we're part of an international church. Some of the questions we'll be able to resolve as a church in Australia, like we did with the question on Catholic education. And some questions will be left up to individual bishops in their own diocese. I, for one, and I know this has been put on the agenda, should the bishops mandate a diocesan pastoral council for each diocese? Well, they may well come to that decision in the Plenary Council. But I suspect what a diocesan pastoral council will look like in the Archdiocese of Sydney will be very different to the Archdiocese of Canberra and Goulburn, and vastly different to the Diocese of Broome. How we come together and make those decisions are just as important as the decisions themselves.